Morning, guys. Happy Thursday. So, yeah, it looks like this vaccine situation is getting pretty crazy. I was reading in Twitter, which I don't know if it's a verified source or not, but if it's true, it'd be the first time in history that they're mandating some kind of vaccine before you hit the trading floor. I'm curious how this is going to work out for stocks today. And so far, we've seen a pretty flat week. Just really fast pushes up, and then it changes and reverses back down. This was a good example. Was EA I was in yesterday? It did kind of flop, go back up, but I just want to show you guys. Look how much noise on this time frame here. Look how much noise. So the first one right here, this wick, that was the initial pump, actually. So that dropped, right? So they sold off right there, and then there was another one right here, and that for options premium jumped up pretty high. Unfortunately, I couldn't get out of it because look how fast it was. I mean, it dropped so quick. It was able to climb, but it's still not as worth as it was before, and we're still kind of testing this 138.39. So hopefully we can get past this and actually start making money on this options play. In a normal scenario, we would already be at 140, and that's why this doesn't look as bullish as a market as everybody else thinks it is. Even if we're making all-time highs, we're not moving consistently. So that's just my opinion. So 138, 39, and excuse me if I sound nasally. My allergies are messing up this morning, so whatevers. So we have Hood. So Hood had a nasty drop, like we talked about. I don't know if it was last week or this week, and we're seeing that it's been just bouncing back and forth around this 51. But what's interesting is if you usually just set your supports up or resistant lines, this is what you would see. But what's cool about the bands, let me pop the bands on here, is we could see a little bit more information. So we could see that it's been going sideways for a while. What I mean is consolidating all three here. So we just need to move past this the green bands, and sometimes even through consolidation you could see that it's moving past other deviations, right? Because these are dynamic bands, so they're constantly going to be growing and squeezing and whatnot. So if we see that it kind of went through these deviations and now it's like consolidating on this last one, and if it can continue going up, this is what I would like to see, right? And if that's the case, then we might be able to make a pretty good trade on Hood today. I don't really go heavy into popular or trending stocks unless it's it's correlated with pretty good technicals. Like fundamentally correlations happen sometimes with good technicals, but a lot of times it's already up up here, and that's when you're hearing news and or whatever, earnings or whatever, and that's not a good time to get in. So those are little things I look at. Amazon also looks like it's trying to get itself out of the bands, the lower bands. It's sitting about right here at 32.90, and again, it wouldn't be a bad entry if if we're thinking that the price is going to get all the way up to here and higher. you know um Nesty's also showing a bounce as well, so that's kind of positive. So because now we can just use this line that's available for us, and it's staying at 32.85. If it breaks below that, it's going to go, well, 32.75 and so on and so forth. So that's something that we can watch this morning. There's another little level on a different time frame, 32.86. So yeah, it's about the same. So yeah, Amazon, 32. I would say if it stays above 32.85, definitely playable. A lot of these have just been whipsawing, going back up. Nvidia did the same thing and went back up, and then it shot back down. So this is a good example of a whipsaw. The algo did pick it up because the algo does see it as a buy. It just sees that there's a lot of what's the confusion right now, and it has to do with the generalized of the market. The buyers really don't know what to do, and the sellers really don't know what to do. So we're just falling in these little consolidation patterns. So very similar to Hood, if we look at the lower bands, very similar to Hood. So another playable stock this morning, unless it breaks this 190. I would say 195.87. We'll say 195.80, round it off. And 193 would be the next level, which is lower than the previous one right through here. So, that's something I look at too. Are the bands rolling up? Meaning, are the bands going like this, where it's going to make a higher or lower, or what am I saying, man? A higher low, or is it going to make a lower high? Right. So those are things I look at. So right here, if we can get higher than this, right, this is a higher low than the previous one. But if the price comes down here, this would be a lower low. That's more of a bullish pattern, right? So we don't want that to happen. Coin popped up, and then it's kind of the same thing. It popped up early in the market, and that's one thing. What I was telling you guys is you have to wait like 10 minutes or so, let the volatility calm down, and then jump in there. And but you could see how fast it moved. This is a really hard trade to get out. That probably would have take profit and get out. You would have had to made sure you were already in the trade from the day before. So that's kind of what I've been seeing is you kind of have to look, the next day for these plays. And I'm not trying to encourage doing overnight holds, but the way the market's been looking, and if the correlated with the bands, meaning that it's in a good place to buy, it's not that risky, right? Just don't go heavy on your positions. And like I was telling the guy in the group, I look for cheap out of the money premiums. I mean, it is what it is. Right now, the market's not super bullish, so I'm not going to waste or my time or at least get emotionally involved spending too much money up front when we're seeing this kind of inconsistency in the market. So for me, just having a correlation that it's in the lower bands and getting a decent price on the premium, even if it is out of the money, I can still probably make, who knows, 5 or 10% for the day, and I'm happy with that. Is there anything else? We can look at the indexes real quick, guys. But honestly, man, this is like boring me to death. I'll just be honest. I didn't even feel like doing this morning, just because I'm tired of seeing like the same charts, the same choppiness. So it's the same song and dance. Even though it's trying to cruise up and make these like higher highs. Who cares, right? Like nobody's making money. Even if the market's moving up, nobody's really making money. It's just very specific stocks, and they go up very random. So, plus, historically, August is a bearish month, right? Most of the time, the summer is pretty bearish, but I think last summer wasn't that bad, but this summer has been crappy. So you know, a lot of people can speculate and, oh, it's this and that and whatever. We just go off what we see off the algorithms and the charts, right? We don't try to look at the news and stuff. But it is interesting with the vaccine. I'll just throw that out there. You know, I'm not like big in the news, but man, we need to open our eyes too and see what the bigger picture, what's going on with our planet right now, what's going on with this place. So, you know, just be mindful of that. You know, be prepared. So yeah, SPY. I mean, if it stays above this price here, 143. I mean, it goes up to here. It's boring me talking about this because even if it hits this like this next high 44, who knows what the rest of the market gonna do? I'm very like I want to say I'm bearish tone, but yeah, it's definitely not helping with seeing how this market's been acting. Same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin popped up, right? And because I have these ranges, and these ranges will like alert, you know, constantly. And when it pops into these two little zones here, I got alert set on them, right? Because I know this is a pretty critical one, the 45,000 zone. So yeah, I'm always paying attention to that. But you can see that we're now squeezing through here. All the patterns are looking the same with the markets. So we might see a squeeze, you know, kind of do something like this, right? And maybe tomorrow will be you know, or in the day will be better or something. I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, go back and look at some of those tickers that we've talked about in other videos, or the ones I talked about today. And, you know, hey, see if you can make a couple of bucks. But guys, be safe, right? Be safe out there.